Welcome to the Beginner Excel 2007 Lesson 4, Exploring Formula Construction. We're going to be using a pay rate Excel spreadsheet for me to demonstrate how to use cell references and create different formulas. There are two tabs in the workbook, one for our relative explanation and one for our absolute. We're going to go over understanding cell references. Think of a cell reference as a map to locate a cell on a spreadsheet. They can be titled as an alphanumeric label, or you can create custom labels. Cell references are important in Excel because it allows the formula you use to update automatically. If a value in one cell changes, the use of a cell reference can help you update the change formula results when they're copied and moved. There are two different types of cell references, relative references and absolute. Both of these references serve two very different purposes. Relative cell references are used to change in relation to the new location of the formula. For example, in this workbook, you go to the Relative tab. There is a list of employees with their pay rate and hours worked for each week and the total pay for that week. The first total formula has been entered for you. So I'm going to click on cell D3 and you can see that the formula multiplies cell B3 and cell C3 to give you the total. So it's multiplying the rate times the hours and gives you the total amount that their pay will be. So what I'm going to do is click on this black cell, corner of the cell here, and drag this down, and it's going to automatically fill the rest of those cells. Now if you notice, it copied the formula and changed the relative formula. So in row 4, it is now multiplying B4 and C4. 5, it's B5 and C5, and so on. So that's a quick, easy way for you to copy formulas, even if they're not using the same cell references. Now we're going to move over to an absolute reference. There are going to be times when you're going to need one or more constant cell when entering a formula or function. This is called an absolute cell reference. Absolute cell references stay the same when a formula is copied to the new location. They will stay the same no matter where the formula or value is moved. Even during this process, it will stay the same. So this spreadsheet that we're working with here is a little different. There's only one rate of pay and varying hours worked. We want to create a formula that will not change the cell reference from cell B1, where we are going to enter our rate of pay. So in cell C3, we're going to enter the absolute cell reference. I'm going to type the equals sign, and I'm going to click on cell B1. Now, up here in the formula bar, I'm going to type a $sign before and after the B. Then I'm going to type my multiplication sign, and then click on B3 and press enter. Now for now it's going to say 0 because we don't have a value entered in cell B1, but we're going to get to that in the next sections of this tutorial. So let's copy and paste or drag down the formula, and they're all going to say 0, but notice when you did that, cell B1 stayed the same and just the hours changed. Okay, so now we're going to cover some more functions. The first one is a very basic cell reference. What this means is we are going to use a cell reference from another worksheet in the current worksheet. So we're going to click on cell B1 here. I'm going to press the equals sign. And then I'm going to click on the relative tab, and I'm going to click on cell B9. Now notice how the formula is being entered up here in your formula bar. And press enter. That's still going to say 0 because there's no value entered in that relative cell that we just selected. The average function makes the calculation of adding a group of numbers together and dividing by the number added. It does all of this without you having to manually enter the formula. So I'm going to click back on the relative tab, click on average, and now I'm going to press this function button up here by the formula bar. I'm going to click on this down arrow, use my scroll bar, and click statistical. And then I'm going to click on average. And then click the OK button. This is going to open the function arguments. In order to select cells, you can click on the thing that looks like the button that looks like a graph and highlight and then press enter, or you can manually type those cells in. Once you're finished, click OK, and it's going to automatically calculate your average for you. Now that we have a number calculated for the average, let's go back and look at the absolute reference, and notice how it placed that here where we did the simple function, and then also filled in our totals with that formula. So as you can see, as values change after you enter formulas, your numbers will change for your results. I'm going to go back to the relative tab, and I'm going to click on cell B10 and click the functions button again. Now I'm going to go down, scroll down in the statistics and select max. Press OK, the function arguments is going to open again. And I'm going to highlight, this time I'm going to highlight cells D and click enter. Now this is going to give me the maximum amount paid to which employee for that week out of that list of items. The last function I'm going to cover in this tutorial is the date and time. The date and time function will display the current date and time on a spreadsheet and change every time the spreadsheet is opened. So I'm going to click on cell C1, click the function button once again, use the category menu and select date and time. And then there's a function in here called now. So I'm going to select now and press enter. It's going to give you a brief description, and I'm going to click OK, and it's going to display the exact date and time. That concludes Lesson 4, going over formulas and functions in Excel 2007.